What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sisko and Mike Podcast. Damn, it feels weird to be back in the studio, Mike.
Man, stop getting crazy, bro. We did a one live audience.
We did one live and one on the road, so it's been some
That's
time.
Back to back, yeah.
So it does feel a little weird being in here, man, but we got a great show. We're always talking about mental health.
Yeah.
But there's another aspect to life that we don't take care of either.
Yeah.
And that's our physical health. Today's guest, I'm hoping he can help us out a lot, man. He's on a mission. They call him Warpath. We got Richard Macias joining us today.
Welcome, bro.
What's
Welcome.
up? Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for coming, man. We already started a little conversation, but before we go too deep into that, we want to know a little bit about you because everybody has a story and a journey that leads us to this point right now. Where did your story start?
So my story started, man, just an average, kid growing up. I grew up in the IE, San Bernardino. I was born. Grew up Fontana, Rialto, moved to Temecula. So I bounced around a little bit, but, was an athlete, played sports, football, baseball, wrestling. Typical both parents in the house, everything was cool. Like every household, it wasn't perfect, right? We did have our issues going on. But then I started finding alcohol, started finding drugs, stuff like that. So that kind of just led me into a dark area of my life that I kept together for a really long time. And then eventually just started sprouting out and overcoming my life, right? So growing up playing sports, being an athlete, I was cool. I would go to practice, do my thing. Once I got into high school, though, I had a lot of freedom where I was starting to drive, starting to, hang out with other crowds, stuff like that. That's when I really got introduced to the party scene. I started to really dive into that. My parents ended up getting separated. So I used that as an excuse. I didn't want to be in the house no more. So I was out partying. I remember taking my first drink at 5 years old. Being, you guys are Mexican, you know how it is, right? You go to parties, especially kids' parties. There's more beer there than alcohol, than juice and stuff like that.
It's about tiso, dog.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's
It's like, why is there so much alcohol here? So I remember like my tios and stuff, they'd be drinking and all that, and me and my cousins, we'd go, steal a beer here and there, go to the room, down it real quick, come back out, and so like it was normal. That was what we did, right? But later on, it just turned into like that was the tipping stone to like my addiction. And I didn't realize at the time, and I don't think a lot of people realize it at the time. It's like alcohol is so accepted, right? It's everywhere. And then all of a sudden you turn around and it's like, damn, this is overtaking my life. Like, I need this drink just to function now, and that's where I found myself. So long story short, I got to the point where I was really overweight. I was tipping, close to 300 pounds, 260, 270. Me being 5'8", that was just way too big. I wasn't happy with myself, and I would use alcohol to cover all that up. So I got 4 kids, got my wife. It got to the point where literally every weekend I was blacking out. I was drinking a lot, blacking out drunk. Some days I would remember, some days I wouldn't. And it got to the point where my family was just like, we're done with this. Like, we don't want to be around this. My kids, they're like, Dad, can you stop drinking? They would beg me to stop. We don't want you drinking this weekend. Whatever, I'm going to drink. My wife, same thing. Well, it came down to her leaving, taking the kids, and me being left in this house alone. Like, damn, is this what I really want for myself? So I had to make a good decision. I had to really figure out where I wanted to go from that point on. And so where I went was I got help. I changed my mindset completely, and I literally just killed my old self. That's where Warpath came. I reinvented myself, right? So I was like, okay, Richard ain't cutting it. Richard has these bad habits. He's overweight. He drinks a lot. I need to find somebody that doesn't do that shit, And so that's how I started diving into the fitness, nutrition, learning all about it as much as I can, completely stopped drinking, went sober. And that's pretty much where my life started. That's where I would say it started.
It's interesting. You said something that it's so true, that alcohol is just so accepted and it's a normal thing, right?
Well,
and
especially in our communities, bro.
Right.
Yeah. And like you said, growing up, that's like my story. When my cousins, hey, mi padrino or my dad, vete traeme una cerveza, and you go and you get one with your cousins and you guys are sharing it around and passing it around, dude. And we don't realize that, damn, like now, like, as parents, you realize that we have a huge influence on kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like huge. Like we look up to our parents and we see it and it's, all right, if they're doing it casually, well, it's nothing wrong with it, right?
Yeah. Well, it's not just the parents too. It's also
society too. I mean, commercial.
Well, it's also like your siblings, because I remember I'm the oldest out of 5. I remember throwing parties. You remember we used to throw parties at my mom's house, and who'd be watching? By the way, my brother is the sound guy. they'd be out the window
Yeah.
staring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they're looking at you and they're like, "Fuck!" Like I want to. It seems like they're having fun,
Right.
And like you said, it's generational food. It's not just the parents at this point. It's
Yeah.
like everybody is in between. You know?
Yeah, and that's a slippery slope right there too, because you might not have the problem with drinking, right? Like you might be cool.
Yeah.
You can have a few beers, stop, go to work the next day, be fine. But guess what? Your little brother might be the one that has that addiction.
Exactly.
And he's looking at you and be like, okay, my brother, he drinks a few beers, he hops in the car, he drives back to his house, he's fine. But then he tries it, he gets a DUI, he kills somebody, he kills himself. Where did he learn that from? He learned that from you, right?
Exactly.
Even though you didn't have the problem. So it's like, that's what I had to think about. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm over here being an example to somebody, right? And I might not have that issue, but they might. And I would hate for them to hurt themselves, hurt somebody else, and knowing that they learned it from me.
Yeah.
So that's where I tell people, okay, like I understand, I don't have a problem with drinking. For me, I can't do it because it affects my life that bad, right? Just like somebody else, you know, they might not be able to smoke weed, but maybe I can, right?
Yeah.
I don't, but it's just one of those things. Everybody has their own stuff, right?
Mhm.
But you got to realize who's watching you. If you're going to be that person that's going to be in that leadership role, an older brother, a dad, a father, you got to think about that stuff. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I just try to open people's eyes to. And just, if you're going to drink, be responsible. Show them, you know, I'm not going to drive at least. You know, or show them the right way. Especially in our society, man, drinking and driving is crazy. Especially in our Mexican communities.
We've
right?
talked about that, dude, how people still to this day get DUIs. Having so many, like
Uber,
Ubers,
yeah.
Lives,
Yeah.
you know, like so many opportunities to not get behind the wheel. And
Yeah.
I don't know how it's still happening.
It's that mentality that it's not going to happen to me.
Right.
It ain't going to be me.
Yeah.
I could drive.
Or I got this.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's that pride,
bro.
You
It's
know,
the
and,
pride.
and I learned that from my older siblings and my older theos. Like, nah, I'm cool. Like, give me my keys. I'm gonna drive my own truck home.
yeah.
You know, that machismo, that like
Exactly.
It's like I got this.
Like
you
I
know
ain't
what I mean?
I mean not to be disrespectful, but I ain't no bitch.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what it is. It's
Yeah.
I ain't no bitch. Give me my shit.
I
can
got
do it.
this. I'll handle
Yeah.
it. You know, and then you say I'll handle whatever repercussions come to me. Right, and then you're sitting in that box with a DUI, like, fuck, why'd I do that? Crying, come pick me up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's like, are you really that person? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Are you really tough enough to do that shit? Like, not a lot of people are.
So I got a question. You said you decided one day, you know, you went through all this stuff. Your wife had left with the kids. You saw yourself going down this hole, and you said, "Fuck this, I'm done."
Yeah.
What did your immediate like friends? 'Cause I'm sure you had friends that you kicked it with.
Yeah.
That were always like, "Hey, let's have a beer, whatever."
Yeah.
How did they react? How do you react to them, and like vice versa?
It was they didn't take it serious, and that kind of made me mad in a way, because I knew what I was going through. I knew that this was real. I knew it was serious, and a lot of my like primos and stuff like that would be like, "Oh, like whatever, it's gonna blow over. She'll be fine. She'll be back." I'm like, "Nah, dude. Like you're not helping me. Like I'm telling you guys, I have this problem. I'm finally coming to realize that it is me, and you guys are still trying to throw it under the rug. Like." Let it blow over, you know, go a week or two without drinking, and then let's go party again. What kind of friend really tells somebody to do that? You know, if I told you, man, like I have a heroin addiction, and if I have another, you know, if I do heroin one more time, I'm going to die. And you're over here telling me, well, just try it one more time. That ain't a friend, right? So a friend's going to be somebody that's like, hey, you're right. You're messing up. Let me step in front of you because you're not going to lose your family to this. I'm going to stop you. Don't be doing that shit. Right, that's where we have to kind of have those people around us. So yeah, they were kind of like some people were supportive, right? They knew I had a problem. A lot of people seen it before I did. You know, like my wife, she's seen it. My family, they seen a little bit of it. They told me I got to slow down, but they still didn't stop it completely. Even my wife, she's even taken responsibility for. She's told me I need to stop drinking, but then on the weekends she's out drinking too. So she's telling me to stop drinking, but then at a restaurant, she's having a beer in front of me.
Gotcha.
Right? So you could be like an enabler. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And so, yeah, I had to kind of deal with a lot of those people that I had to just stay away. You know, I kind of just had to do my own thing at one point and just realize like, okay, this is my family. This is my life. And if I don't do what I have to do, I'm going to be the one ultimately that has to deal with it. None of these people do.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I tell people, man, take it into consideration. This is your life. What do you want to do with your life? Don't listen to what other people do. You know, that's just their opinions. What do you want to do?
And just to add to that, dude, when you're in a situation like that, because I went through something similar. I was going through like I don't know if it's depression. I don't know if it's just my life just became complacent. You know, everything in life says I should be happy. You know, have a business, I'm well off, everything's fine. but there was something missing, right?
Right.
And I turned to alcohol too. It was my stimulant. And at that time, what I was doing is I was going away from the normal people that were in my life or pushing them away.
Yeah.
And going towards people that were enabling this behavior. Hey, let's go drink. Hey, let's go do this. That were like, hey, dude, I feel like a beer. Fuck it, let's go.
Right.
You know?
Right.
They're just going with the flow and they're pushing you into that situation. And like you said, they're enabling that. So we look for that too. We push the people away. That's why it's a common thing for addiction. We push people away that tell us the truth, and we go towards people that enable us.
It goes back to what you used to tell me, because I used to tell him about some shit I was going through, and I didn't want to hear the right shit. Nobody wants to hear it.
Right.
It's easier to hear the wrong shit, or to accept it. So that's why it's easier to fall victim to those who are pulling you in than those that are trying to pull you away, because it's the hardest to do.
But it's a trip, because at that point, fool, you see these are my real friends. And even though they're not, you know what I'm saying?
That's because it feels good.
Exactly.
It feels the best at that point.
Exactly. At that time. But you don't need that. You need to have them tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And it goes back to anything could be a drug, fool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anything could be a drug.
Anything is a vice. Yeah.
Anything's
a vice.
Yep.
Like for me, in my case, because I was in the Marine Corps, and I know I don't look it, but I was at one point probably not as buff as you, but I was skinny. And now I'm like, fuck, and I feel like, fuck. Like, I'm ashamed to sometimes say, oh, I was a Marine.
Yeah.
Because it's like, fuck, like, really? And I've been, like, I was just telling my brother, I was like, fuck, I can't believe I used to go on, like, on 20-mile hikes, fucking run 10 miles a day sometimes with my unit.
Rucksack on.
And I did all that, and I've been there, done that, and now it's like, I can't even claim that, or I can't say that, because it's like, they're not going to believe that shit. So it's, I felt my vice was eating.
Yeah.
And sugar. I was a fucking big sugar baby.
Right.
And I was eating candy and fucking. I was telling you before the podcast started, I was drinking 3 big gulps a day. And why? I don't know, because it felt easy. It felt good.
Yeah. Well, it's literally, a wiring of your brain, right? It's a stimulant. It gets like that dopamine out. It's the same thing. You just change the word around. Alcohol, weed, shopping. Girls with shopping, right? They don't feel good about themselves. What do they go do? They spend a bunch of money on clothes to look good, to feel good. That's a vice. Yeah. They're not necessarily fixing the root cause of what's making them feel like crap, right? And that's all we do. So, like, I lacked purpose in my life, so I distracted myself with pleasure, right? So men who lack purpose distract themselves with pleasure. And so I know that whenever I'm looking for, like, a pleasure, a quick fix, I know I'm not in alignment with my purpose. When I'm in alignment with my purpose, I work out, I eat right, I'm meditating, I'm reading my Bible, I'm locked in. I'm not looking for that pleasure outside of that, right?
How did you find your purpose, bro? Because you're talking about, you said from one day you just said, boom, I'm just going to stop, right? And people didn't believe you. And now, do you feel like this is your purpose?
Yes.
Helping other people?
Helping other people.
And how did you find that? What made you be like, damn, this is what I
found it through what I needed. So I needed help. So I went out and started helping others, and it made me feel good, right? So whenever we're lacking something, you should go and find that is. So if you're lacking love, go love somebody, right? Go pour all your love into somebody. You're going to get that love back. It's just a universal law, right? You lack motivation. Go on Instagram and do some push-ups and try to motivate somebody. You're going to get all this stuff. Hell yeah, bro, keep going. You're doing great. Man, you inspire me. What's that going to do? It's going to motivate you to keep going, right? So whatever you're lacking in your life, go do that. And that's what happened with me. I want to help these people that have been in my situation and change their life. Yeah. So then I started, okay, how do I figure out how do I do that? Well, I got to change myself first. No one's going to listen to me if I'm overweight, out of shape, drinking all the time, hungover, and I'm over here trying to tell you to change your life. Yeah. Right? So I'm like, okay, step 1, let me change my life. Let me get sober. Let me get in shape. Let me resemble the hero that I had in my mind growing up. Right? When we grow up, we always like the superheroes, the G.I. Joes, Batman, whatever you're into. What did they look like? They were strong. They had a purpose. They protected. They provided some type of thing, right, for people. So that's what I did. So I just started that's how I thought about Warpath. What is that person that I want to be like? What does he do on the daily basis? What kind of actions, what kind of habits does he have? And then I just started doing that every single day. That's how I developed my purpose. I just develop it. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to help people. I'm going to provide service, and it gives me fulfillment. Then it started turning into money. So the more value I gave, the more money I started making, right? So it's like, okay, I'm starting to find these clues to success. If I help more people, I also get stuff in return. but it's not so much of like material stuff. It's more satisfaction, which kept me sober, right? So that's what ultimately just started. My main thing was just stay sober, man. Like my main goal was stay sober, get my family back.
That was your new drug.
That was my new drug. I was addicted to that. And I have an addictive personality. So when I found fitness and nutrition, I went all in. Like I just went cold turkey with drinking. I said, F this, I'm done with this stuff. I'm going to keep going. And I lost over 100 pounds within 11 months. Just on fire, man. Just keep going. People started seeing that drive in me. She started seeing my mindset change first before my body started changing. And that's what kind of brought her back in. Like, she's like, you just seem different. Let's start working on this. You're not the same person that I left. You know, because she left for about a good 6 or 8 months. Within that time frame, my mindset was already changed. You know, and I tell people it doesn't take long. It takes a split-second decision. Do you want to change right now or not? When I ask somebody that, they come up with excuses. They don't want to change.
Yeah.
But when you say, yes, I want to change, what do I got to do? And then you just do it, bam, you're dangerous.
Question. Did you change because you wanted for yourself? Or did you change because you felt that was what you needed to do to get your family back?
So both. So
Okay.
I changed for myself because I knew that's not the life I wanted to live.
Okay.
So in my mind, my parents, right, they divorced. So number one, when that happened, I don't want that when I grow up.
That's
I want
say.
all my kids to be in the same household. I don't want to be a split, divided house. So that happened to me. Crap. Okay, I don't want that shit. I need a change, right? So it was for me, but in a way, it was a selfish way for me because I did want my family back. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, so it was kind of like, yeah, I needed to change because I knew I was better than what I was giving. And it hurt me knowing that I was the one hurting my family. It wasn't just somebody coming in and tearing us apart. It was the dad, the husband, that was coming in and tearing his family apart.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what I think it's important, though, what you said right now? There's two reasons, right? To get your family and for you. A lot of times we do things just to get our families back or for someone else, and you end up failing. Yeah. Why? Because you're not doing it for yourself first.
That's what I was going to say.
You gotta make that change first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It starts with us first, and then you can. It's like they say, if you don't love yourself first, you can't love someone else because you don't know how.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say because obviously he's still doing it. So that means if it would have been like you said, if it would have been just for the temporary, like, oh, let me just fucking put in work enough to reel them back in, then he wouldn't.
You just fall apart. Once you get him back, it just falls apart.
Yeah. Which leads me to my next question. Now, your wife is a bodybuilder herself, right? Mm-hmm. Was she a bodybuilder before you?
So she's always been an athlete.
Okay.
Yeah, she played soccer since she was young. She actually had a scholarship for soccer.
Okay.
And then funny thing is she got in trouble with the law. She went to juvie for a good year and lost the scholarship.
Gotcha.
You know, so she has her own story too to tell, but she's been an athlete. But as far as weights and bodybuilding, this is our first time actually dedicating like this much time and effort into being serious about it to where possibly make it like a profession. You know?
Do you feel that brought you guys together even more?
Yeah, big time.
Couples that work out together, dog, stay together.
That's right. No, but it has, man. It's changed our life because we're like on this mission together, you know, and we hold each other accountable.
That's dope.
And I think in relationships, it's kind of that's separated, right? Like you have your hobbies, she has her hobbies, you know, and sometimes they don't correlate together.
Yeah.
You might have a few stuff that you do together, but it's not every single day, you know? So like every night we check in with each other. How was your day? What are your goals for tomorrow? And then we keep each other accountable for those goals. Right. So it's like it has brought us a lot closer. But yeah, going back to like what we're talking about, you know, about the mindset is you have to change your mindset first before your body even starts to change. Right. And a lot of guys, they'll change their body. They'll do like a 90-day program, but they don't change up here. Well, they're always going backwards. They're going to go back to being that same person because they didn't actually stick. It didn't stick in their head. They did it for a little bit. They got the results. They got the pictures. All right, cool. I'm done. Let's go eat. You know what I mean? Let's go back to doing what we're doing, right? And then they never change. So if you could change your mindset and really develop those skills, the discipline, it just becomes second nature. And now this is who you are.
Yeah.
How do you connect both, bro? Because that's a tough thing. No, there's a thing when you're working on mind-body connection, mind-muscle connection, but just mentality and actually doing the physical work. How do you connect both of them?
So what I do is I meditate a lot and I think of who do I want to be? What does my life look like? and then I do whatever it takes to get there, right? So I want to be in shape. I want to look good. I want to be a successful business person, and I want to have a great relationship with my family, my kids. So what does somebody do on a daily basis that does that, that already has that? They're not, out partying, drinking, because they want to be there with their family. They want to be in shape. So I ask myself questions, hey, okay, am I going to do this right now? Is this going to make me more money? Is this going to get me in better shape? Is this going to make me a better husband and better father? If the answer is no on any one of those, I don't do it. So that's how I can connect my purpose to what I'm doing every single day, right? If I know I'm going to be on a bodybuilding show, I got to wake up, I got to do my cardio, I got to eat right, I got to stay disciplined, or else it's not going to happen. Yeah. I'm going to be on that stage like, man, I didn't do it, lack confidence. So that's why I tell guys, confidence is earned daily. Just because I worked out yesterday and ate right yesterday, today, I could just completely throw it off. Tomorrow, I'm not going to feel confident. I can tell you that right now. So it takes every single day to do something. And so if you're doing something daily, going towards your vision, towards your goal, automatically you're going to connect those two together. And it's like brushing your teeth. You already know, like, okay, something's missing. I didn't do this today, and it becomes second nature to me.
Yeah. Have you ever had any bumps on the road, like while during this journey?
Oh yeah, man, tons. I've slipped, I fell. One thing that I haven't had was a relapse with alcohol. I haven't drank in about like 3 years, and I give that to God, because I literally dropped to my knees and I prayed to God, and I asked him, please deliver me from this addiction. I don't want to be addicted to alcohol no more. I don't want to be stuck on this vice anymore. Please deliver me from this. And I haven't had any thoughts about it, wanting to drink, any urges. Like, that's one thing that I'm pretty proud of. But I messed up, man. I eat like crap sometimes, and then I feel like crap, and then I'm like, okay, that's what it feels like. And I remember that. I'm like, okay, I don't want to feel like that no more. So it's just like an everyday thing. Plus I got my kids looking at me, and like that helps me stay on track. I wrote letters to my kids promising them the life that I'm going to give them. So I got to fulfill that promise. My word is everything. And so right now, that's what I'm teaching my son. He's 5 years old. And I'm teaching about discipline. I'm teaching about keeping his word. I'm teaching him about how you protect and how you serve others. That way, he just grows up to already be this man. He doesn't hopefully have to go through all these difficult times that I went through. Hey, I did it for you, And that's what I try to tell people, man, learn from me. I went through all this stuff so you can learn what not to do. Do the opposite now. Start your life now, especially you young guys out there. Man, 20-year-old, I wish I started back then. If I did, I'd be a lot further.
Yeah. Discipline, dog. I think that's one of the hardest things to really implement into your life.
Mm-hmm. Especially in your early 20s.
Yeah.
Just throughout life. It doesn't have to be with like working out, things like that. Just little habits too. Mm-hmm. Having discipline, like doing things correctly. My motto. If you're gonna do something, do it right. Yeah. So it's like a lot of us don't have that discipline where you're just like lackadaisical about everything. Even me, like you say I'm a perfectionist and things like that, but
I say you act like a perfectionist. I didn't say you are. A perfectionist.
Well, yeah, I'm not,
because you do. There's things that you don't see yourself.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh shit, and vice versa. So
it's just one of the hardest things, and I think as I've gotten older, I want to do so many things in my life and changes, and I just, like you said, they're just excuses. Yeah. I say I don't have time, right. I don't have this, and I don't have that, and it's like, damn, like. That's the step for me right now where I'm struggling to be like, I want to do this. I want to get back in shape. We've talked about this. I want to get back in shape.
He's been building his gym for like a year, bro.
Before, bro, I used to be in the gym 7 days a week, cardio, lifting, 4 a.m, working out. I think I was pretty muscular, not like you, but, and then bam, just out of it. And then the more I try now, and it's like, I just make an excuse, like, I'm fucking tired today.
Yeah.
Bro, the hardest shit is waking up in the morning. Like, because I go to work at 6, right? And I was going to the gym at, I think, 24 hours opens the whole day.
Not anymore.
Well, the one in Redlands it does. And, bro, I was waking up at 4, and my excuse was like, oh, I got to go to work at 6. I was dormido, way. I think lack of sleeping for me was the thing that killed it. A lot of people don't understand that, not just with working out, but with anything you do in life, if you don't sleep right, you're not going to do this shit right. Yeah. And I don't really sleep.
But then that's also tied to your physical fitness too. Not sleeping correctly. Like,
well, that's true, because I have sleep apnea.
Yeah. So it's everything.
So everything just fucks you up back and forth.
It does. It does. And I tell people like this, going back to what you were saying, where like the discipline's the hardest part, right? Well, it's like anything else. You got to start small, right? So doing like one thing a day that you're going to add. Okay, I'm going to wake up early. I'm just going to do that for 1 week. I'm not even going to work out yet. I'm not going to eat right. I'm just going to wake up early. That's my win. So let me accomplish that for this week. Okay, I did that 7 days. Cool. Okay, let me add one more thing in now. I already got the wake up in. Now I'm going to wake up and then I'm going to read something positive. So now I'm going to add that. So just starting off real small, and then you build that momentum. And then once you start building that momentum, it's just second nature now. You just keep doing it and doing it. So that's what I was doing is I was waking up at 2:45 in the morning. This is when I was working a regular job, so I had to be out of the house by like 5 o'clock. Wake up at 2:45, brush my teeth, do my thing, be in the garage by 3:30 working out, okay, till about 4:30, gather my food, head out the door by 5. That was every single day, right? And so that built that discipline in me, and I did that for years on end. Came home, hung out with my family, and did it all over again. That's literally how I lost my weight. It was just staying disciplined to my wake-up time. If I missed my wake-up time, my whole day would go to shit because now I didn't hit my workout. Okay, I didn't hit my workout. Now I don't feel confident about myself. So now I come home, I'm already feeling not great. Then all my kids are coming up to me. My wife's coming up to me, asking me questions. How was your day today? And I'm just like overwhelmed. Now I give them attitude. Why? Because I didn't put myself first. Right? And I'm sure you guys have experienced that. When you know you're supposed to be eating right and you eat like shit, and then people come up to you, you're already annoyed of yourself.
Yeah.
So I think about it like, how could I be the best me for my people? I got to do what I'm going to say I'm going to do. So I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to work out. I'm going to eat right. That way I can give them the best possible version of me. If I don't do any of that, I'm not giving them the best me.
Yeah.
So they're going to get a half-assed version of me. Do I really want my family to have a half-assed version of me? The one that I'm not even into? Like, I don't like myself when I give half-assed stuff. Mm-hmm. So why am I going to expect them to accept me like that? You know, and that's what I was doing to my wife, man. When I was 260, out of shape, I'm like, here I am. Here's your husband that you're supposed to be into. You know what I mean? Like, let's have sex now. Let's do all this stuff. And she's like, dude, are you even happy with yourself? Like, you look in the mirror and you're disgusted with yourself, but you want me to be into you, right? She never said that, but that's what they're thinking, man. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, man, I was so dumb. Like, I was expecting her to be, like, into me this whole time, and I wasn't into me, you know? So that's where I had to really evaluate myself and be like, damn, like, if I like what I see in the mirror, she's going to like what I see. And she looks at me way different now, bro. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big thing for guys. You know, I talk to a lot of guys, and like, I just want my wife to look at me how she did when we first met. I'm like, well, how was that? She just looked at me like I was just like this beast, like I was just this person that she was in love with, you know, her protector, her provider. I'm like, okay, how does she look like you now? Like, just disgusted because I'm lazy, you know, telling me like, get up, go do something, you know, and that all switched out, man. Now I see her just staring at me sometimes. Like, what are you looking at? She's just smiling. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right. And that's cool, man. That's how it should be, you know, giving your people the best possible version of you. But it starts with you. You know, it starts with you doing it.
So I want to ask you, now that we're going to talk a little bit about your program and stuff, and like some of the stuff that you implement. If guys want that, what you just described, tell us a little bit about what they go through, or what do you require of them? Because I was looking at your Instagram right now, and it says apply. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't just take anybody, right?
No.
So tell us, how can somebody be in your program? Like,
yeah, so it's first you do the application, you know, kind of tell me what your goals are, what you're experiencing, what do you want to do, what are your challenges, right? What do you feel you need help with? And then I'll hop on a call with you face-to-face. We'll do it through Zoom, and I'll really figure out to see. I do it through Zoom because I want to also give you the respect to see me. You know what I mean? Like, it's face-to-face right here. If I'm going to be asking you to purchase my program, invest in me, I don't feel it's cool just over a phone. Hey, what's up, bro? Yeah, give me your credit card number. You know what I mean? Like, I give you that respect. But then also, I'm interviewing you. I'm seeing if you're a right fit for my team. Like you said, I don't just take anybody. You have to really be involved. You have to really want this stuff. If not, to me, I feel like I'm just taking your money, and I don't do that. You know, I want to actually provide you and give you what you need. So are you into it? Are you full of excuses still? Do you really want it? What's your why? Do you have kids? You know, just kind of asking you these questions. And then based off that, if I think you're a good fit, we'll go to the next step, and we'll kind of see what you need actually, right? So somebody that's 100 pounds overweight, they're not going to need a 90-day program. they're going to need probably a year program.
Yeah.
You know, so me giving them a 90-day, it's not really doing much for them. But it's there if they just want to start small. So we'll kind of just figure that part out, see what you need, what the next process is from there, and then bring you on the team. You know, once we bring you on the team, it is one-on-one. So you're working with me and me only, but we're part of this community. And I only coach men on my program. The reason being is because we have weekly Zoom calls where we hop on Zoom and we just share stuff. You know, so it's kind of like an outlet for people to really express, you know, if you're going through vices, if you're going through hard times with your wife, share them, right? We need a community. You can't just be isolated on this desert, expect to go through all your problems and find the solutions, right?
Yeah.
There's other people out there that have gone through what you're going through and have overcame that, you know? So I found that when we do that, a lot of guys are like, man, I'm dealing with this. Another guy's like, I dealt with that last year. You know, for example, we had one guy have a rotator cuff surgery, and he was all bummed out because he made really good progress, but now he can't work out no more because of his shoulder. So this other guy, you know, gave him some advice, what he can do, all this other stuff. He overcame it. He's still getting results. He's still working through it, and they're actually helping each other, all from being part of the same community, right? So that's what I do, man, is I just kind of form this game plan for people. We get them on a roadmap to where they want to go to. And then I keep them accountable. They're checking in with me every single week. They're checking in with our team every day. We have midday check-ins, weekly check-ins. Like, you're going to be getting checked on. You know what I mean? So that keeps guys accountable because I think guys need that. They need to see other men like, hey, dude, are you doing your job? You know, there's like men out there, we don't like to like, when you're at work and someone's like, man, you're a lazy ass. You don't do shit. We don't like that. You know, it's like, nah, he's good. He does his stuff. He knows what he's doing. Like, that gives men that purpose, that pride. So having those check-ins, man, it just helps people stay accountable, you know, stay accountable to the program. And then, we're just kind of, it with the body and stuff like that, it's so unique that I'm literally learning how your body operates. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't do well with carbs. So I got to know that, and we got to readjust your macros here and there. So I'll come in, I'll make some adjustments, and we'll know if you're dialed in or not, because every week you're going to see progress, you know, and we know we're right on track. So
that's pretty dope because I don't know, but I've never heard of a program where you bring in a community and it's not physical health. It's also just venting and having a community and, you know, just getting your stress, whatever's on your mind, your mental health too, I guess you can say, and just sharing it. That's pretty dope.
Well, in a sense, it's the connecting people.
Yeah.
Like you said, these two guys went through something similar. Boom, they connected.
Yeah.
And the thing as men, we always feel alone. You know, even though other people are going through it, we don't want to share it. Because we feel that makes us feel alone. Yeah. And you're providing, you know, this space. So that's pretty dope.
Yeah. No, it's really cool, man, just to see people open up and flourish and just like guys that were, you know, because you have to get around like-minded individuals. You know, some men are in a circle where it's so negative. They're in a construction site all day with men that are just nagging about their life, complaining about shit, bills, their wife. And this person's like, well, fuck, I just want to change my life. I don't want to complain about it. Yeah. What do I do to change it? Because all you guys have been talking about the same stuff. And that goes back to my drinking. When I was trying to stop drinking, I went to AA. I tried it. But to me, it was just a bunch of guys complaining about their addiction, but not really doing anything about it. They were just like some guys have been in there for 5-6 years, still struggling with it. I'm like, what are you doing, though, to stop it? You just come to these meetings and that's it. So for me, it just didn't work. So I was like, what's the solution? I want to get down to the bottom of this. How do I fix this? You know, so it's around getting around like-minded individuals. And that's what we do. It's like, it's just one day that you can get with somebody that has done it, that is aiming towards the same goals that you have, and figuring out how do we get each other there. You know, so you being in the Marines, man, you go to war with other guys, right? You go to battle, you're in that. What do? You become best friends with those people. Yeah. Like, you probably still talk to some of those people, you know, because you've been through a hard task with them. And that creates that brotherhood. Yeah. And that's the same thing with us. We're trying to change our lives. We're trying to get our marriages back. We're trying to lose hundreds of pounds. So we're in battle every single day. We're going to war with ourselves. And so when you have like a battle buddy, it's like, it just makes it that much better for you to get through it, you know?
That's dope. I was going to say, it reminds me of the Marine Corps.
Yeah. Because it's real structured. But you're checking in all the time with me. You have your battle buddy there. You know, you're holding accountable. You're having tasks every day to do, nutrition, training. Yeah. So it is very militant, you know? And that's the structure guys need. There is no structure really anymore.
Exactly.
And that's what I was going to say. I think, I don't know why we always talk about we're our own man, and we want our freedoms. But in reality, a lot of us need that structure to just survive, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You look at people in prison too. They come out of prison, they don't know how to handle life outside of prison.
Right.
Why? Because it's so structured in there.
Exactly.
They tell them what time to wake up.
They feel
Exactly. So military people, some are lifers. Why? Because they can't adapt to normal life. Have you had that issue where you feel like you see all these people living a normal life and you'll be like, damn, like sometimes I want that. Like I just want to have a week where I don't have to worry about working out or eating right or anything like that?
Never, bro, because that's what actually gives me my purpose. Like, I feel now if I miss a workout, it's like brushing my teeth. You know what I mean? Yeah, is it going to hurt me one day? Probably not, but it's going to bug me. It's going to irritate me knowing that I didn't do something that day to bring myself to where I got to go to, right? So it's a daily thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna respond for him. I was gonna say that is his normal life. What are you talking about, bro?
No, but like
why would you? It's like you're saying right now. Oh, I see these fat fools, you know, and I'm saying fat because I'm fat, but I see these fat fools eating. I want to be like them. No. Fuck is his shape. Why the fuck would I say I want to?
For example, you see people like eating like, oh shit, we're gonna grab some pizza today, you know, and you're like, damn, like.
I'm sure he probably eats
minor
pizza.
things. Obviously, not the normal life.
I'm sure he eats pizza, but there's pizza that he probably like. He makes
and that's
that.
the
It's
thing
like
too,
fucking
is like
right.
figuring out what works, right? So I got 4 kids. You know, I'm by no means I'm gonna sit up here and say I haven't had pizza. I'm so strict on my diet. No, like there's a way that you can have both, but to a certain extent. That's where your discipline comes in.
That's what I was gonna ask right now. Like if you learn to give yourself some leeway and forgiveness for I missed a workout or I missed this meal, like have you learned to give yourself that forgiveness for?
So the way I do my nutrition is I track macros, you know, protein, fats, carbs. I know how much I'm allowed per day, right? So if we're going to go out to pizza one night and I know, okay, a slice of pizza is going to have a lot of fats and a lot of carbs, not a lot of protein, I'll just eat protein that day. And then at nighttime, I'll enjoy some pizza with the family. So that's where the discipline comes in. Can you have one slice of pizza and stop? Or are you the type of person that's going to have one piece and then want more and more and more and more, right? So it's okay to have that one slice.
I filled the application already.
You're out, bro. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to ask you, okay, so here's the tricky part, because you said you measure or you basically keep track of all your macros and everything you eat. Now, I had a story because when I was in Japan, I had an extra job because I was bored. So you either go drinking.
Yeah.
Or you take up, like, I was going to school, and then, don't get me wrong, I did a lot of drinking when I was in the military, but then it was kind of like, I got tired of it, you know? I was like, fuck, that's all we do. So I took an extra job, and I was working at GNC. And I remember this.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, I was working at GNC on my off time for a couple hours just to make an extra money. Yeah, in Japan.
They have a GNC in Japan?
On base.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have it like, it's like you're in America.
Yeah.
And there was this big buff motherfucker would always come in here. Now, he was cool. He was güero. I think he was like from the Midwest or some shit. And he would spend like $400 or $500, bro.
Yeah.
On like supplements, right?
Yeah.
Like fucking vitamins, the stacks, the fucking. Anyways, but not only that, I asked him one day. I said, "Hey, bro, what's up with all that? Like, do you?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I measure everything that I eat too." He's like, "If I'm putting peanuts on my food or whatever, certain amount of peanuts. If I'm doing whatever the fuck he's putting on his meal." He has already counted. How do you keep track of that shit? Like, bro, I try. It's like I gotta fucking. It takes time to put in the app. I ate an egg. Fuck, I half a cup of cereal. Like, how do you? Like,
you're probably having different stuff.
Yes.
You know, so with me, I already know. Like, I picked 3 protein sources. Okay. So I'm gonna eat fish, chicken breast, and lean ground turkey. Okay. Right, and then I'll do the same thing with my carbs. I'll have rice, sweet potatoes, white potatoes. Right, so I'm just switching out all this stuff. So to me, I already know what it's gonna weigh out at.
Gotcha.
So I'm not making it harder than what it is. And I think that's what people do. It's like, yeah, you can have whatever you want to a certain extent, but then you're switching it up all the time. You're not really giving your body a time to adapt to see if it's working or not. Gotcha. You know, like I found out broccoli doesn't work well with my system. I get bloated, I get gassed up. It doesn't work for me. But broccoli is good for a lot of people, right? Yeah. So you start figuring out, okay, broccoli, let me take that out. Let me replace it with this. So I only eat like limited amounts of foods, but I switch them all out, you know, to make different stuff. So to me, it's not that hard because I've been doing it for so long. But when I first was starting it, it was a little bit time consuming. You know, it was a little bit like meticulous, right? Like, man, I can only have 4 almonds. You know, but then you get used to it and you're like, okay, like
It's just
I already
repetitive.
know. It's just repetitive.
Gotcha.
You know, and I meal prep, so I do it, you know, twice a week. Instead of cooking every day, I'm cooking twice a week, right? So I'm actually saving time. I'm not in the kitchen all the time doing all
Does it
this
get
stuff.
boring, bro, eating the same shit?
Yes and no. I mean, I like it. I'm just like disciplined now to where I like the repetitiveness. You know, it keeps me focused. It keeps me on task. I know what to expect now, you know? So when something is not the way it should be, it's a red flag to me, and I could pick up on it and I could change it right away. Like, I know my body, how I feel. So if I know if I'm gassed up, bloated, what happened? I had something I wasn't supposed to, or I switched something out. I take a look. Oh shit, yeah, I had that muffin this morning. Okay, now I know. Okay, like, so my body is like, I'm in tune with myself. You know, I could really kind of figure out how, even like, man, I'm depressed today. What did I have yesterday? I had a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, sugar is going to probably be a little bit depressing for me. It's going to cause some weird feelings, so I'll stay away from it. You know, so it's just being in tune with yourself.
You know,
learn yourself.
That's interesting because there's so much science
Mm-hmm.
that people don't realize when you're like a trainer or a coach, the work you have to do. You know, where did you learn all this about macros and the body and how it works and what it does? And
So at first just doing it, you know, just learning on my own research. And then once I got real serious about it, I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do the rest of my life. I want to help people. Then I went to school and I got my certifications and did the whole school thing.
So you're like a certified
So
nutritionist.
I'm certified. Yeah, I'm certified through ISSA. It's just a International Sports Medicine Association. And so, yeah, I can, you know, go on there, have resources that I can learn about and just learn how people adapt, how the body is, which is interesting to me. Like you said, it's like science.
Yeah.
You know? So nobody's body is the same, and that's why everybody has different macros, different ways they eat. And so you got to find like what works for you. You know, that's going to be the best diet for you. You know, like I said, I can't handle broccoli. You can. So our diet's going to be a little bit different. You know?
got it. Speaking of science, you know, just we were going back. What do you think of all these like supplements now that there's literally I don't know what there is anymore. You know, before it was just protein. You maybe a pre-workout, and you know, you take your protein before, after, whatever, and pre-workout, multivitamins. Now there's all kinds of, you know, there's all kinds of things out there. Now there's drinks that you see people drinking all the time. What do you think about all these things? Do you think it really does make a difference?
So a supplement, you got to think about what does the word mean? Supplement. It's to supplement something that's missing, right? So if your nutrition is on point, your macros are on point. For example, if you know you're supposed to have 200 grams of protein every single day, and you're eating your 5 meals and you're getting your 200 grams of protein, there's no need for a protein supplement. You're getting enough protein in. But let's say you're getting only 180. And that last one, it's like, I can't eat another meal. I'm so full. I don't have time to cook it. That's where a protein supplement come in. Let me just mix this drink real quick. Let me drink it. I'm going to get my protein in there, right? So you're just supplementing what's missing. Caffeine's the same way. I'm tired today. Let me have some caffeine as needed. Now, if you're somebody that's doing it every day and you need the caffeine, what is that? That's a vice now.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of people use pre-workout every single day. They don't even work out that day. They're just going to use it to get up and going, right? That's
You got to work out because that shit makes you itchy. For you like,
oh, yeah. So it's like there's people like that will use pre-workout every single day, and then that day, it's the rest day. They're still going to have it because they like the feeling. They like the boost it gives them. Now it's a vice. Yeah. Like how you guys said, anything could be a vice, right? So, I mean, yeah, supplements work. They do work. There's a point, there's a time, there's a purpose for them, but you shouldn't be somebody, like I would rather you spend $400 on good whole foods than $400 on supplements.
Gotcha.
Get your nutrition dialed in, get your macros dialed in first, and then find out what am I missing? You know, what vitamins am I not getting in? Let me add a multivitamin in, you know, or I need some more vitamin D, vitamin C. Let me take a vitamin D or vitamin C supplement. Yeah. So, yeah.
This is the first time I ever heard that.
Yeah, you got to figure out the base first, you know, and then add stuff in.
Yeah, I didn't know that. See, everybody always said you got to drink protein. If not, your workout was
I've heard you got to have your protein, but not drink it.
No, well, no, but before, like, it was like protein after you work out, no matter what. But now, this is the first time I hear somebody say, if you have your 200 grams or whatever it is, there's no need for it.
Yeah. The only, like, you know, thing that you can add to that is, like, if you're trying to get protein in your system right away, then eating whole foods is going to take a little bit of time because you have to digest it. So that's where, like, a protein shake would come in. You know, so that's what I'll do sometimes is I'll have, like, an apple and then a protein shake right after the gym. That way the apple has carbs, has glucose, sugar, it's going to shuttle the protein into my muscles a lot quicker, right? Because it doesn't have to break it down. The protein's already broken down.
Yeah.
And so it just goes straight to my muscles. So that's what I'll do. And then an hour after, I'll have a whole meal, you know? So I really only have like maybe 1 or 2 protein shakes a day, just depending.
How's the, you know, back in the, what is it, like the 80s and 90s? Juicing, and you know what we're talking about, steroids.
Yeah.
How's that now, like, compared? Because I know you probably talked to a lot of other muscle bodybuilders and stuff like that. Does that shit still, like, a thing that some bodybuilders use?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of bodybuilders are still, you know, using those supplements. A lot of times now, like, before in the 80s, like what you're talking about, they weren't using as much. Nowadays, you know, guys are taking grams every week of steroids, you know, which is a lot. Yeah. So you don't need a lot of it. It's up to you on what you want to take, honestly. But if you're somebody that's competing and stuff like that, more than likely you're probably going to have to go into that world.
Gotcha.
You know, if you're going to want to be competitive.
So that's allowed now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's just regulated a certain amount of levels, or?
There's like natural shows. So people that don't want to do steroids, they can go in their own show. That way it's, you know, even or whatever. It's not. And then there's just open where you can be juiced up. You don't have to be. It's whatever you want to do. But they don't like drug test you or nothing like
now, that. What are your thoughts about that? Like if you had a client that said, "Hey, man, I want to juice it up."
I think like it depends on how long you've been working out and what stage you're at, right?
Gotcha.
So let's say I get somebody, he's like 21 years old, hasn't been working out a lot, just starting off. Bro, you're young. Yeah. You haven't even reached your genetic potential yet.
Your body's
you don't even
peaking,
know. Yeah,
bro.
you don't even know what you could do yet. You haven't even spent 2 years in the gym dedicated. Like, I would tell him, spend 4 years of dedication, eating correctly, working out every day, sleeping really well for 4 years straight, and see what your body can do. Now, after that, if you decide you want to have some enhancements, go for it. At least you know kind of what your genetic potential is. Right now, you're around 25, 26 years old, getting up to 30s. Maybe you want to do it, maybe not. So that's where I would tell people, do what you can first, and then if you decide to, go for it.
Okay.
There's just been this thing like going around the internet, you know, you see The Rock, you know, Dwayne Johnson, and people are always like, oh, he's juicing, he's not juicing, you know, whatever it is. And people say that the reason he is juicing is because the body can't get to a certain level. Right. Is that true? Does your body have like a limit to the growth it can do?
It does, yeah, it does, especially when you age, right? So as men age, our testosterone dips lower, and we just don't feel as great, right? We're unmotivated. The weight can't come off as fast. We're always sore. So we go to the gym, and it takes us like 3 days to recover. Our testosterone's low. So at that point, for your health-wise, you should definitely get on some testosterone just to get back up to base level, right? So with people that are doing like TRT, they're going to a doctor, they're actually getting their levels checked through their blood work, and they are low, they're taking TRT just to get back up to base, where somebody normally would just be already. So at that point, you're not really cheating in a way because you're kind of just getting yourself back up to base level. But, you know, of course, there's going to be people that are going to abuse it and go over that to enhance themselves to be better, right? And so that can also, once you stop doing that, now your hormones go down lower. So you're always going to need to be on it, right? And so like someone with The Rock, if he's been on steroids, been on testosterone for a long period of time, and he comes off, his body can't produce naturally testosterone. So he needs that supplement just to function.
I heard that fucks with your kidneys, no?
The testosterone?
The testosterone
like more like pills and stuff like that, like stuff that you ingest. Because if you're doing testosterone, you're injecting it, you know, so it's going straight to your blood. So it's kind of bypassing a lot of your organs and stuff. But people are doing like pills and all that stuff. There's like, you know, steroid pills that you take and all that. It definitely takes a toll on your kidneys, liver, stuff like that. So yeah, you got to be smart about it. You know, people that they're going to go into that route, get your blood work done. You know, that's number one. Like, I'm more healthier now because I get my blood work done every 3 months. Like, I know what my body's doing. I know what's happening. You know, I donate blood just to kind of switch everything out. They call it like an oil change, right? You got to get all the blood out to let your body produce more. So you got to do all these right steps, plus take the right supplements, vitamins, stuff like that. So I'm on that now. I'm in the doctors all the time, just making sure I'm staying healthy.
Crazy shit, man.
I know. It's
my shit's on check engine, man.
It's just been on check engine.
Check engine. I got all the lights on the dash.
There's something I was gonna ask, bro, but it's in my mind right now when you said that because
it's true. No, I was okay. What are some? I do want to ask some more. I have a lot of quick questions.
Go for it, man. Let's do it.
What are some common or like misconceptions, like in the weightlifting or in the body workout? You know, what are some of the bad things or myths that people talk about?
Well, going back to what we were first talking about, steroids, right? People think that you could take steroids, sit your ass on the couch, and you're going to get big, you're going to get shredded. No. You know, you have to put in the damn work, you know? So I get a lot of comments on my stuff. Oh, he's only like that because of steroids, right?
Yeah.
It's like, bro, you got to put in more work, I think, when you're on that stuff because you're just hurting yourself at that point, right? Putting all this stuff inside your body, you're not doing anything, you're hurting yourself. So I think that's one big misconception is the fact that you could just take some gear and look just like how a normal bodybuilder would look. No, that's false.
Is it true that your balls shrink?
Yes, your balls do shrink.
Fuck.
The reason being is because it doesn't produce testosterone. So your balls are pretty much like, hey, I'm out of here. My job's done. I'm going to go on vacation. I don't need to work anymore, right? But then once you stop, it goes back to normal.
So
that's why there's a cycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
You do that and then you...
So now I'm confused because if you need... Testosterone is what makes us men stronger, right? It's what makes, like...
It's our hormone.
It's a hormone. Yeah. Like, people say, if you want to increase testosterone naturally, go work out, right? Lift weights. Yeah. But then some people take steroids to get fucking big, but that decreases testosterone, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It suppresses it.
So then, so somebody that takes steroids, they have to go on testosterone?
Yes.
Oh,
so so like testosterone is like a base, right? You need testosterone to use these other compounds, or else your natural testosterone is going to dip lower, and then you're going to have lower testosterone while you're on this stuff.
That's fucking crazy. You see that? Yeah. I mean, I don't know this because, again, I've never...
No, and it's good that people are getting educated on this stuff because I think it's taboo right now still.
Yeah.
You know, even though it's out in the open, a lot of people, it's like not a lot of people are knowledgeable on it, you know. Even
then, if you look at types of steroids too, there's different types.
Yeah, that's true.
And that people don't know that either. People just think it's that one needle and that's it.
Right.
You know, there's, what is it, anavar?
There's all kinds of... Anavar is like a pill form, and then there's injectable forms, you know. They even have testosterone like cream that you could just rub on yourself, and it goes into your skin.
Really?
So if you're somebody that doesn't want to inject it, you know, you just rub this cream on there, and then you still get the same effects from it, you know, so...
Here's another one.
So your arm's like buffering. One arm's buffering the other.
So no, it really goes into your whole bloodstream. But yeah.
What about running? I know how a lot of people talk about
cardio,
right? They say if you do cardio, or you got to do cardio before you weightlift or after you weightlift, which is it doesn't help you lose weight or it doesn't help you get big. What about that?
I don't think. If you do cardio, you're still going to get big if you're lifting properly, eating properly, right? You have to be in a surplus to get bigger, so caloric surplus. So what cardio does is it puts you in a deficit, right? Meaning you're working out, you're exerting more calories. So, for example, if I was at 2,000 calories and I was doing cardio and burning 400, right, it would be the 2,000 minus the 400 because I'm doing my cardio. So I'd be in a deficit now. But if I'm eating 2,400 calories and then doing 400 of cardio, I'm maintaining. I'm at that 400, right? So that's where your nutrition has to be dialed in for your goals. Are you trying to bulk or are you trying to cut, right? Cardio, I think, is good no matter what, if you're cutting or bulking. Because what you're doing is you're working your heart out. Most important muscle in your body, right? So the whole thing between, you know, do I do cardio before or do I do it afterwards? I say after just because you want to have all your strength for the weights. Right? You want to be able to exert, you want to push, you want to create intensity to be able to get the gains that you're looking for. Now, if you're doing cardio before that, you might be a little tired. You're not going to have as much energy, right? But it all depends. Are you doing cardio at 4 a.m. and then working out at 5 at night? That's okay because now you have time to recover.
Gotcha.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you're somebody that's like going into the gym, doing an hour of cardio, and then right after that, hitting an hour session of weights, your weight session is going to be affected by it because just from the energy, you know, especially if you didn't eat beforehand. So with people with that, you know, do the stuff that you enjoy. That's what I tell people at first. If you like running, go run because you enjoy it. So it's just going to get you something to get out there. If you like lifting weights, lift weights, you know, and then start fine tuning to what your goals are.
Okay.
You know,
I remember what I was going to ask. From when you started to now, have you seen a big change in like just the community of gym and people working out or being more active. Because I feel like, for example, before the 2000s, I feel like, there wasn't a lot of gyms. And then after 2000 something, boom, you start seeing LA Fitness, 24-hour fitness, Fitness 19. Now you see these small gyms, everywhere. Mm-hmm. Have you seen the community change? Do you still see it like growing?
Yeah.
Or you feel like it's kind of dropped off now?
No, I think it's growing. I think it's like, how, they say history repeats itself, right? Mm-hmm. Like in the 80s, everybody was into working out. 80s, you had all these videos and stuff like that. I think it's like the same way now, just differently, just more weights. Now women are lifting weights, where beforehand, women were scared to pick up weights. They didn't want to get big, and that's a misconception also, because you have to literally try like your ass off to get big. You're not just going to pick up weights and get big, believe me.
Yeah.
You have to have a purpose behind it, your nutrition, right? All this stuff has to be dialed in for you to actually gain size. Mm-hmm. And so that's a big one for women. It's like work out, lift. The more you lift, the more resistance training you're having, the overall, like how your body looks structurally is just going to look better. You're going to look good naked and you're going to look good with a shirt on too, right? Yeah. You don't want to just look good with a shirt off. So I think that's another misconception, is like people want to just lose weight. What does that mean, though? Yeah. Because we can get you to lose 10 pounds in 1 month, but are you going to look stringy? Are you going to feel like crap, right? We want you to feel good. We want you to look good. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like losing weight doesn't mean anything, because weight could be fat, it could be muscle, it could be water.
Yeah.
So me telling, you telling me I just want to lose weight. Okay, do you want to lose fat or just water? Or do you want to lose muscle? Are you too big, too muscular? And you just want to lose it, or what? So that's where a lot of people, you have to decide, what's your specific goal? What do you want to do? And then form that game plan towards that, But yeah, I think it has changed big time, man, which is good. I think it's good.
Because even shows, before there was limited shows. Now it feels like there's all kinds of shows. There's different categories. There's different, weight classes.
Yeah.
And that I've seen. I'm not too familiar with it, but you just start seeing a lot more of it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think like social media too has helped it grow too.
True.
You see everybody on there videotaping themselves doing workouts now, and it's a good thing, but it also opens up doors for, everybody's a trainer now, or everybody is knowledgeable and like their way is right only. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I was going to say that, I was going to ask you that. Do you feel that like Instagram, TikTok, all this, we always talk about this because it's funny. Even like with podcasting, because there's a lot of podcasters. There's a lot of makeup girls, right? Mm-hmm. Makeup persons. There's a lot of everything, right? Lawyers, fucking whatever you name it.
Yeah.
Do you feel that TikTok and Instagram has created a bunch of these people that say, this is what I did and work out, and creates a following because people tend to want to see results fast. Immediately. So they see this guy, oh shit, I want to follow him. Mm-hmm. And he might not be giving the right, or she might not be giving the right advice. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that has created that problem?
Or they say that thing, get like me in 30 days. And
see, that stuff, like that's completely false. I think that's wrong of people to put that's why I'm open and honest when people ask me, do you take gear? Do you take steroids? Are you on tests? Yes, I am. So if you want to look like me, just take that into consideration, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie to you and pretend like, no, you could look like me in 90 days, just sign up, right?
Yeah.
No. And going back to where everybody is an expert nowadays, right? And it's like, if you don't do it my way, you're wrong, and I'm going to block you because you don't agree with me. That's the part that I don't agree with social media. It's like, if I don't agree with you, then we're like enemies now. You know what I mean? It's like, there's more than one way to skin a cat, but it all comes down to the base. If you're trying to lose weight, be in a caloric deficit. If you're trying to gain weight, be in a caloric increase, right? Work out, do your cardio. So all that stuff is standard. You're not going to get abs in 30 days if you're not doing all that stuff correctly.
Yeah.
And a lot of people ask me, do you feel like training and being a fitness coach online, it's kind of like too big now where it's flooded. There's so many of them out there. Yes and no. The reason why I say no is because you have to find your unique angle. Like, what sets you apart from all these other people? You know what I mean? So being authentic, being you, and people gravitate towards that. And they're really purchasing the program because they like you. They want to work with you. You know what I mean? They get the most value from you. Anybody can really get you ripped up and shredded if they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, Yeah, I just want to separate myself a little bit. That's why I talk about God. I talk about my family. Like, I bring my life into this stuff. You know, I this is what I do. And I just want to help people, you know, basically see what their purpose is, figure out themselves.
I want to ask you a question. So a lot of times when we see Instagram or people see Instagram, people growing up, teenagers, 21-year-olds, and they see these people working out, they see you, for example, and a lot of times it makes them feel like crap. Like, what do you think about that? Like, because there is this negative thing where people always trying to compare themselves to someone they see. Mm-hmm. You know, you just happen to be on this side of it. What do you tell people like that?
I've been there. I've been where you're at. I've looked at other people and said, like, envied them, like, man, like, kind of hating in a way, like, how are you doing that and I'm not? Like, what makes you different? But then I switched my mindset of, like, why can't I do that? What makes him different than me? What makes him better than me? Nothing. It's just the fact that I decide to do different things every day than you do. Instead of you looking at me on Instagram all day, I'm working on my body every single day. You're staring at me. I'm actually doing the work. So at that point, if somebody's doing the damn work every single day and you're just sitting there, they deserve to look that way. You haven't deserved it yet. You know, and that's the way I look at professional bodybuilders now. Why don't I look like that? I look at them and I'm like, damn, why aren't I there yet? I haven't deserved it yet. I haven't put in the time yet. And that's where a lot of kids nowadays, we're in a microwave society where they want it like that.
Yeah.
Amazon, it's at their doorstep. DoorDash, they order food, right? Uber, the ride's here. So it's the same thing when it goes to goals in life. And you guys both know it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You got to put in the time and effort. Sometimes you're going to be grinding for 5-6 years. Finally, that 7th or 8th year, that's when it all comes out. Yeah. So who can last the longest without giving up? Yeah. And that's where you have to enjoy the process. You don't want to be looking for the outcome, right? So stop. That was my biggest thing is I was so focused on the outcome. What am I going to look like in 90 days? Instead, I focused on who am I becoming during these 90 days? That changed my outlook completely.
That's crazy.
Damn, that's no,
I know. I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, fuck. Like, a lot of times, you know, when like how many people haven't started working out because we're talking about workout, right? I used to go to the gym and be like, fuck, how come I'm not buff? Yeah. I've been doing this shit for 3 days.
Yeah.
Like I felt fucking a bump a day ago because you know when you first work out,
yeah,
you get that little bump, and then you wanted to stay there, and it's not gonna happen in a week.
Instant gratification.
I didn't get fat in fucking 2 days.
Exactly.
You know, I started thinking about that, and I was like, fuck, it's gonna take me a long time. I'm older. I got fucking knee injuries. I got a back injury.
Yeah. So
it's not gonna be as easy in the Marine Corps like I was in the Marine Corps. So you're right. People just want shit fast.
They want it fast as hell, you know, and that's the problem is, you know, with social media and stuff like that. It's like you got to do this every single day, man, every day, and then like don't compare your life right now to somebody else's life when they've been doing it for 10 years already.
Yeah.
You're just not in the same area, you know, and that's okay. Like you still have your journey, your testimony, right? So make it unique to you and then teach people along the way of how you did it, you know? So I'm a big believer in that, man. If like, you know something, you've learned something, pass it on to the next person on how you did it, you know, because you have the answer. You have the answer right now. Somebody wants to start a podcast. They have no idea how. You got the answer. So if they were to hook up with you and be like, hey, how'd you do it? How'd you start? Oh, this is what I did. It took you probably a couple years to figure that stuff out. But you telling them that, it takes them a couple minutes to figure it out now. You just help them that much, right? Expend their life that much further in a short amount of time. You did something good for them. You know?
What's next for you and for like the community of working out, like physical training? Do you think it's going to change? Do you think, you know, technology is fucking becoming this weird thing now.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, or have you started seeing like things that it's going to be like, damn, I can see that there is going to be some sort of change?
Yeah. No, big time. I think like you said, with social media and the technology nowadays, it's kind of like endless, right? It's kind of like there's so many possibilities out there. Like I can help. I have clients from Australia, Canada, you know, like I got clients not just in the US. I'm able to help somebody on a whole different area and overcome what they're dealing through technology. You know what I mean? I would have never thought that I'd be in this position, honestly. Yeah. And so what's next for me, man, is just continuing to just pursue my goals, my dreams, hopefully motivate others to start their own businesses, you know, because I was a blue-collar worker working, you know, in HVAC, completely let that go. This is what I do full-time, you know, so it's following that passion. Was it scary? Hell yeah. I'm still scared. You know, a lot of times I'm like, am I going to make it? Am I going to do it? That's where my mindset comes in, you know? So I think for us, man, it's just opening up to more people to help. So by jumping on podcasts like this, I do a couple speaking events in my community for high school students. So I go out and I speak at the high schools and I kind of talk to them, getting them like a head start. Because that's what I wish I had. I wish I had somebody that can tell me, if you make these decisions, this is where you're going to end up at. You know, I had to kind of go through that and figure it out. So just kind of getting myself out there, using the technology like Zoom to maybe do some like, I don't know, workouts online that people can work with me. Open up different stages. You know, if somebody can't afford my full program, I got lower level stages for them. So just kind of have like everything for somebody, you know, having everything for somebody. And then personally, just, you know, hopefully step on stage in the next year and do good on my bodybuilding show, man. And kind of
is that going to be a thing for you now? Trying to consistently do shows?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Nice.
I want to try to get my pro card, you know, eventually in bodybuilding. And it's like a new journey for me. It's brand new experience. I'm a novice in it, you know. And so even though I've been working out for a few years, man, it's something fresh to me. And I kind of like being that new guy, that underdog. I think that's where I thrive at, you know, because I stay hungry. I don't like getting that big head of like, I know everything already, you know, so always challenging myself.
I think that's important because a lot of times when you set a goal and you reach it, that mindset, you kind of just relax.
Mm-hmm.
You get that, all right, I'm here now. Let's work it out. Let's enjoy it. And then we'll set something else up. But you got to keep the mentality. You said the underdog mentality.
Yeah. I'm always just trying to figure out stuff to like challenge myself, you know, just doing something different. You know, always doing something different. I'm always into something, man. So trying to figure out ways. I'm up talking to my wife like 10 o'clock at night, like business, like, all right, what can we do next? You know what I mean? What's the next step for us? And like, we'll see, you know, we'll see what happens. So.
AI, bro. AI is eventually like.
Yeah.
We'll see artificial intelligence. I did that already. So that's why I was asking about technology because ChatGPT, give me a workout routine. You put in my height, put in my weight, and boom, just starts listing different programs. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, but who knows? But who knows where the information's coming from too?
Yeah.
Because there is no, like you said, there is no right or wrong. Everybody's body is different.
Right.
So I think that's one of the things that's going to be huge, where AI can't really interfere with making programs for people. Because
I think that's the difference right there. Is AI can't take the place of a human as far as the knowledge, the intuition, I guess, you know, because I know when my client needs something by the questions he's asking me. Hey, like, I've been feeling really fatigued, really tired, telling me about certain things that are happening with his body, constipation. Like, okay, he needs to have a cheat meal or he needs to up his carbs a little bit. I need to make some type of adjustments because right now his body's reacting in a negative way. It's kind of in this like stall mode. It's kind of like, man, something's happening. We need to do something, right? So it's giving us signals. With AI, I don't think they can really get that.
So whatever you ask it.
Do 20 push-ups. Hey, man, I feel like shit today. Do 20 push-ups. What the fuck? I feel you. It doesn't have that connection.
That connection. You know? And that's what separates me from other trainers is the fact that, like I said, I've been fat before. I've been overweight. Like, I haven't been happy with myself. So I got that compassion for guys. When they come to me, bro, like some guys come to me crying, dude. Like, dude, I'm about to lose my wife because of the way I feel about myself. I'm like, bro, I've been there. Like, let me help you with this. This is what I did, and it worked for me. We're just got to tailor and tweak it to work for you, but it's the same concept. You know, you're dealing with meth. I dealt with alcohol. It's still an addiction. It's still the same way that it corresponds with your brain. You know, we just got to find out what works for you, and bam, you're on track, bro. 90 days with them, they're like, man, I feel so much better. You know, yeah, they're not where they want to be yet, but like you said, you can't compare. You didn't get fat overnight. Yeah. You're not going to lose all this weight overnight either. You know? So it's a process.
Yeah. You're Mexican, right, bro?
Yeah.
Is there a Mexican food that's like your ultimate weakness? You're like, fuck, like, no matter what, you know you're going to have it?
Just tacos, bro.
Tacos?
Tacos, yeah, man.
Yeah,
like, I even get to the point where, you know, I'll have that as my cheat meal, and I'll just take off. You know how they come with the 2 tortillas? I'll take one of them off, you know, and just eat it like that.
Don't dip it in the oil.
Yeah. Just try to, or just have the meat, you know what I mean? Just having that flavor. Enchiladas, I like that. You can't go wrong. I still eat the same way, sort of, but like you said, I kind of found my way. Yeah. You know, so like low carb tortillas, you know, or different style meat. Don't put a bunch of cheese and guacamole on there, you know. So just kind of figuring out what works. But I don't think I'll ever completely take all
it's
that
gonna be
stuff out,
hard,
you know,
dog. Like,
it's hard.
pollo con mole is mine.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with pollo con mole. I'll fuck it.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people too. They're scared to jump on a program or change themselves because they feel like, man, I have to change so much.
Yeah.
Like I have to give up all my food. Like this is what I'm used to eating. Like you don't have to. It's just a different approach you have to take. You know, especially like fathers that have, you know, work and they have kids. You can't just go to the gym at 2:00. You have a job. You have family. You know, so you're gonna have to do it a little different. You might have to do half your workout in the morning and then half your workout at night. But just get it done. You know, just get it done. So,
you know, before we move on to our no manchas, I just want to say one thing that I've taken away from you, bro. And this is what I like to tell him. One of the reasons I love podcasts is because you just talk to people, right? And you just take things away. One of the things I took away is you hear this misconception all the time that the gym is my therapy, right? People are going through mental health or people are going through struggles, but it's a therapy for that moment. But what you're doing is you're talking about it more. You got to fix this first too. Yeah. And you fix your body at the same time.
It's not just in the gym.
It's not just in the gym. And that's a big misconception because you have to do it in everyday life.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. And I think your message is great, bro. What you're doing with the community is great too. So
Thank you.
Hey, before we move on to no manchas, I had one more question.
Okay.
All right, because I don't know if this is a question. Is there like workouts that target? Obviously, there's workouts that target different parts of your body, right? But everybody has. I think there's people that have asked this. You know the fat portion above your chingadera, right below your panza,
The fumpa.
the fupa, yeah. Is that targetable? No. And I'm asking for male and women.
No.
So yeah, there's no exercise that like specifically targets like fat reduction in a certain area. Your body's gonna lose fat wherever it wants to go.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So that comes with nutrition. So nutrition will take care of that part. So by you fixing your nutrition, your body will start to be in that deficit I told you about. And then it's going to start losing fat from whatever area, and that's genetics. So your family or you lose fat first in your legs before you even start to lose it in your stomach.
Gotcha.
Right? So your legs are going to get real thin, your shoulders, your arms, your face might get real thin, and then your panza will be the last thing to go, right? So it's kind of like a toilet paper roll. You got to unravel it and get to like that core, and then you can kind of start getting to that hard spot.
Gotcha.
You know, for men, it's mostly, you know, that area. The only thing like with abs and stuff like that, it just makes the muscle bigger, right? So if you already have fat over it and then you're doing ab crunches, you're just going to make it look bigger in a way because you're growing the abs, right? So that's where nutrition comes in. You have to remove the layer of the fat to see the abs. We all have abs. Some have more fat covering it than others.
Yeah.
So
I got a six-pack somewhere.
We all have a 6-pack.
Got a six-pack right there. So.
Right?
You ready to move on to no manchas?
You ready?
You want to start it or want me to start it?
It's up to you.
Alright,
He told you what the no manchas is, right? Okay.
I'll start it off. I
Go
got two a little bit. I'm gonna keep it in the gym thing, right? Now I have my home gym, but when I used to go to like 24-hour fitness and things like that, when people didn't re-rack their dumbbells, bro.
Took mine.
Okay, my bad. I didn't do that. But like, it's like that's just etiquette. You know what I'm saying? Like they just use them and they just leave them on the thing, or they take one. And then they just leave it, and then you can't even find the next one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it just kills because you're like, you're time constrained. You're trying to beat the rush hour, whatever it is. And it's just like, fuck. Like, really?
Yeah.
Like, it's just annoying.
It's them bodybuilders, fool, because I stay away from the free weights.
I'm talking about like the 10s, dog.
The dumbbells?
Yeah. No, I stay away from the free weights because all the big motherfuckers over there. I'm like, fuck that.
No, they got the little ones, the 10s.
I'm in the machines, fool. Pushing, you know what I'm saying?
And then my next one is, I don't know if this is true. Is this true farmer strength versus like weightlifting strength? Because I see people that are freaking small, like my uncles, my grandma, fool, she's in her 90s, dog. She me da un masaje, fucking hard, fool. She's squeezing me. I'm like, God damn, like.
Okay, farmer strength? No,
there's a
like
thing that they call
that.
farmer strength because, they're working, they're always working.
Yeah.
So it's a different type of strong.
Yeah.
Like even here, you see some of the guys here are small, like Chewy. He's fucking strong, fool.
Yeah.
Like he can probably beat everybody in arm wrestling or just
You're
lifting.
talking like paisa strength.
Yeah, pretty much.
Strength
But is there such a thing as that?
No, I believe that. I believe they're in like we call it old man strength.
Okay.
Once you get to a certain point of your life and you're an older man, you're strong, man. You shake somebody's hand, you like a good handshake. So yeah, I believe in that. And then I used to wrestle back in the day. So the wrestlers that were coming from like the Midwest or like Utah or whatever that were baling hay and all that, they were strong as hell. And I knew because of the work that they were doing. You know, they were working on the farms, baling hay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I believe in that.
Okay.
That's probably because of natural movement, no?
Yeah, it's just everyday repetitiveness.
Yeah,
you know, doing different
because they're actually
exercises.
they're doing natural shit like your body.
Mhm.
Because I was looking into, well, I was reading or something where there was a dude on Instagram. I think he says that if you're hurting in certain places, there's natural movements that you got to do
Yeah.
to get it back into place. Because sometimes when you're just weightlifting, it's just a movement, right?
Right.
But when you're doing natural movements, that's your body. Like, so if you're lifting fucking hay or, you know, cows or whatever the fuck, your body is doing it naturally.
But even think about this. Like, you think about, like, the olden days, right? Like, Romans and all that, Spartans, all that shit. Some of those guys were fit, and it was natural because of just the shit they were doing.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, they didn't have fucking machines and
Steroids. I mean,
Dun-
did they have steroids? I don't know.
dumbbells. Well, maybe they make their own dumbbells, but whatever. But they didn't have all these things, so it was just
Yeah.
natural strength from natural work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just working hard, you know, just doing it.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Even the sledgehammer, you know, they made that into a workout now. People do that shit for a
Yeah.
living, fool.
Yeah.
So now it's a workout, but people did that shit naturally forever, fool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Sure.
called like functional fitness, you
Yeah.
know, using stuff like functionally that's going to help you just in everyday life, you know, so.
My fingers are strong.
Typing.
Fucking typing. Ah,
Or
shit.
texting, huh?
Yeah, I could fucking kill you with these, dog. Hey, I could kill you with these, if you know what I mean. No, hey, let's take it back. Let's take it back. All right. My no manches. It's gonna deal with the gym. It's something I don't know if I mentioned this before, but on the podcast. But when I was in Japan, I mentioned I was skinnier, and I used to run a lot. So believe it or not, I like running, and I would always go on the seawall.
Because you would do that shit from the cops, fool, when we were in high school.
Yeah, it's true. No, but there was a seawall, and I would go running back there all the time. And I don't know. There was a moment, I guess, when I started working, before I started working at GNC, there was a moment where I was like, fuck, I'm lacking energy. Like, I need to fucking drink something, eat something. I didn't know any better. So I go to GNC, right? And all I did was look at the energy sections or whatever. And I remember buying this little bottle. It had a Cobra on it. And it said energy, increase your energy.
Fool, these are the
Hold
like
up,
those,
hold
these
up.
are like those gas
Hold
station
up,
pills.
hold up. This is a GNC fool. I asked the chinita, or the Japanese girl, I was like, hey, I'm looking for energy pills. You know, I wanna get more energy throughout the day. She just got me to the energy section, right? So I fucking look at these pills. They fucking look cool. It had a Cobra on them. It said increase your energy and fucking blah, blah, blah.
Stamina.
Yes, I don't fucking know. I was like, oh shit, this is what I need. So I buy them. I think they were like $15, $20. I started taking them down, right? And I would start going to the gym, you know, to go run or whatever. But within a couple of days, I started noticing I started getting boners, bro. And I'm like, why is it every time that I go to the fucking gym, I'm getting a fucking boner, dog? Like, I don't mean no mames. No manches. There were sex pills, bro.
Oh, shit.
So my no manches is, come on, GNC. No mames.
Wrong kind of stamina.
Yeah,
huh?
don't put them in that section. They should have like a sexual section or
Male
something.
fertility, male,
male
some
enhancement
shit.
or
Dude,
something.
I'm thinking I'm getting energy to go
Yeah.
run, and I'm getting
Fuck,
boners,
bro.
dog.
Hey, but did you work out more and did you run more?
I would fucking pump out, but I'd be like, why am I? The more I pump, the more I get horny. Like, what the fuck?
More
Like,
blood flow in another area.
Hey,
it's
you
just
know what?
crazy.
You're someone's no manches, dog. Fools that go to the gym with bones.
No, dog. Like, I'm like, fuck.
Oh, shit, huh?
These fools are thinking I'm fucking gay or something, dog. Like, nah. Yeah, but I fucked up, man. No manches.
That's funny. All right, my no manches is gonna be it was gonna be the re-racking of the weights, right? But you took that one. So, but there is times, man, where I'm using a machine, and you know how they put like the plates, like the ones that you're not using, they're already down there for you to use. So what I do is I warm up. You know, I'll do a couple warm up sets, just throw a couple plates on there, do it real quick, take a little rest, and then you see people coming in starting to grab those same weights that are right there, thinking I'm not using them. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I'm gonna use them eventually. It's just I'm not using them now. So they're grabbing them and then taking them away, putting them where they're at. So now when it comes to my top sets and I'm trying to actually put more weight on, I got to go around and look for these other weights now. Yeah. You know? And then the other day we went to LA Fitness and literally all the dumbbells were in different sections. You know, the 20s were in the 15s, the 30s were in the 80s. And so I hate going there and I want to grab something, you know, and they're just not in the right place. Yeah. So it's just gym etiquette, you know, like you said, it's just simple stuff. People just don't think about other people. You know, so that's mine.
Wipe that shit down too, because sometimes people don't.
I don't want your damn sweat and ball sweat on my damn chair and all that. Yeah.
Or people that hog like 5 different sets of dumbbells or
I've seen that too.
racks. It's like, bro,
Or people that hug a machine and they're on their phone.
Yeah. No, I've done that before, man. I'd like, hey, how
minutes.
many more texts you got, bro? Like, you've been on there for like 8 minutes already.
He's like, I got 3 more done.
I got 3 more. I'm like, shit, let me know when you're done. That's a big one too with like, cell phones and stuff like that, man. People sitting there texting. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, you know the other thing? And I don't know, people taking selfies like forever at the gym.
I'm not at that
Trying
stage.
to get the angles.
Trying to get the angles.
I'm not at that stage. I can't take selfies yet, so I don't know what to talk about.
But yeah. Ready to move on to words of wisdom?
Yeah.
All right, words of wisdom, bro. This is all you. You tell your followers, the audience, anything you do on your daily life or a message you want to share.
So my words of wisdom, man, is this: if there's anything that you want to do in life, go do it, because life is so damn short. Like, my biggest regret is the fact that I didn't do all this stuff sooner. You know what I mean? That was my biggest thing. So, like, with young guys nowadays, they're like, man, I want to, start a business, or I want to get in shape, or I just want to learn a new skill. Do it. Go do it, because there's people out there that can teach you, that have done it before, been in your position. And by you making a choice of not going and getting help, you're making a choice to not go do what you want to do in life. And you're basically telling God, the universe, I just don't want it. I don't want to ask for it. So I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, is the fact that their pride, their ego, they're scared to ask somebody that they need help. And that's false. Everybody needs help in this world. I don't care who you are. You need help. So reach out, grab a community, form a group of people that are like-minded. And if they're successful, you're going to be the next one successful. So stop hanging around idiots that are just not wanting to do shit, no ambition, no drive. Stay away from all that stuff and be the example, especially in your family. In your family, a lot of people, you need to start there. That's where I started. I started doing my thing. My wife's on board now. My kids are doing it. My cousins are doing it. All because I stepped up and decided to do something against the grain of what others aren't wanting to do. So,
cool.
That's a thing, bro. Like, a lot of people have said that. Just whatever you want to do in life, just do it. Yeah. And I think it goes back to the same thing we've always talked about: people being scared or comfortable, and not wanting to leave.
Or not having all the resources either, too. So sometimes
that's the thing, is that the resources will be revealed if you do it.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't even know what you need yet.
That's true.
You don't even know what kind of mics you need yet, right? You just got to start doing stuff.
That's true.
And then you kind of figure out, oh, shit, I need lights behind here. That would look cool, right? So then you start figuring out those resources, what you need next. No plan's going to be perfect. You might think it's perfect, and then you start doing it, and you got to switch something up. So just start now. Yeah. And it is scary. It is scary. But that's why those people that are doing it, they're more happier, more fulfilled, because they took that chance. So it's all about earning your shit. You got to earn it.
Cool.
Damn, bro. You just added to it, because I never thought about that. And that's true, though. Like, once you do it, resources become available. And this is a perfect example,
Yeah.
When did we imagine this shit? But, yeah.
That's true. Like I said, we started off with 2 microphones.
Yeah.
And on my computer, and then I would come every week. This was like, hey, before you knew it, this fool had added this to the walls. I'm like, okay, fool.
Not even that. Just the community we've been able to build with people.
That's true.
People we've been able to meet, events we've been able to attend and be part of.
That's awesome.
And
man.
it's crazy. Like you said, dude, it's just, who would have thought? Like, if you just do it, all these things become available to you. And it's, at the same time, you got to take advantage of them and go get them too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be hungry, man. You got to be hungry for what you want, Me, at one point, I was holding on to this branch over here, but I knew I needed to go to that branch, but I couldn't because I was holding on so tight.
Yeah.
So that's where I completely quit my job. And that was the biggest risk for me, because I was the only one providing for my family at the time.
Yeah.
And it was like, if I don't make this work, I don't know what we're going to do, where we're going to live at. I got 4 kids to feed. It's scary, but it's been happening. I've been doing this for 3 years already. Always have my bills paid, always have food on the table, if not more than what I had before. So don't be afraid to leave that branch. There's going to be another one. You got to swing there. It's scary during that moment, but once you grab it, it's over, man. It's just like, now you start, that's the person you are now, and start living that life. So,
hey, I want to say something. I know this episode's going to drop next week, so change your clocks. Don't be late to work.
Yeah, no excuses.
There's a
next Saturday.
Oh, okay.
The 5th, right, or something.
Yeah,
like that?
the 5th or 4th.
Okay.
Also, the holidays are coming up, and you're gonna get fat. So make sure you hit up the homie.
Yeah.
He's got you for the holidays. Don't fucking think you're not. Go ahead, eat the fucking turkey, because I'm gonna eat turkey.
Here's the excuse, dog. Everybody's gonna fucking pig out. And then January 1st comes around.
Yeah.
Boom.
And how many times have they done that? You know what I mean? Because I used to do that.
Yeah,
so I know.
Exactly.
But yeah, I always tell people, get the ball rolling first, because January 1st comes, you're already going to have momentum.
Yeah.
You know, then it's just easier from that
True.
point on. So use these next few months as like that, okay, I'm going to figure stuff out. Like you said, you don't know what resources you need until you start.
Yeah.
You know, so just start now, and then you'll start figuring out. That way by January 1st, when everybody's starting, shit, you've already had 2-3 months ahead of you, you know, so.
Yeah, because then January 1st comes, you start, but then you quit, and then, fuck it, I got 2025.
Yep.
So, anyways, where can people find you? How can people reach you to see if they wanted to connect with you, you know, for your programs or just if they wanted to reach you and follow you?
Yeah, you can go on my Instagram, warpath.fit, and then I also have a website, warpathfit.com.
Okay. Yeah. We want to say thank you again. Thank you to you and your wife for coming in on Sunday morning. I know it's Sundays are usually people chill, but we appreciate you coming down, honestly, and all the info and input you gave us.
Definitely.
Yeah, like you said, thank you for coming out. And like I told you earlier, man, I think it's important the way you're doing it. I think your story and your journey have really helped you, not just in that, but like the community you're building and how you're building it. And I think that's crucial.
Yes.
And like you said, just being yourself. And wish you the best, man.
Thank you, brother.
And thanks for coming out and sharing all these words.
Shit, I'm about to apply to the coaching.
You're already disqualified, dog.
Fuck. He's already interviewed me
Just
now.
the fact that you took the wrong supplements.
I know, right?
But hey,
yeah, we're gonna talk about the supplements you're taking, dog.
Yeah, I know. Fuck.
Hey, but we want to thank you. We want to thank
you, bro.
everybody
Appreciate
for
it.
watching. And happy holidays. Peace out.
Peace out.